Good afternoon, good evening, and thank you for joining me. I am Sharifah Hardie, and I have not been on live for a long time. But, at 49, I've decided I need to make some changes in my life. And one of the things that I'm really interested in doing is doing more tarot card readings. I know some people are wondering about tarot, how it works. I'm also going to be teaching a class about tarot. I have my deck right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a live reading today, right now for all of you. But before I do that, I want to introduce the querent or our guest, Miss Wren Estremo of the Dragon and the Rose. How are you today?
I'm good, Sharifah. Thanks for having me on.
I'm excited because I love to introduce my friends to everyone, and you are amazing. You are incredible. But I
Well,
want
you're
to talk.
just saying that because it's true.
It is true. You are definitely incredible. So I want to talk about the Dragon and the Rose.
Okay.
Can we talk a little bit about that? How long? What is it before we even get into
Okay.
how long is it?
We are the longest operating metaphysical store in Orange County. We are dedicated to the memory of my late daughter, Arielle Rose. She is the Rose in the Dragon and the Rose. We have been in business. The 15th of this month will be our Sweet 16. We opened up 11 months after the accident that killed her. And our goal was to be of service to the pagan community in her memory. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. We've built a lovely community of people. We offer rituals and classes and concerts and book signings and art things and poetry readings and just everything. We're not just selling magical widgets. We are empowering people. We're bringing them together. We are creating community and supporting the people that she loved the most.
Okay. So let's talk about the people that Ariel loved the most. Okay. What type of people are those? What type of people come into the Dragon and the Rose?
Oh, like everybody from across all walks of life. Ariel was a Wiccan Buddhist Episcopalian.
Okay. So wait. A Wiccan Buddhist Episcopalian.
Yep. We raised her Episcopalian because that's the compromise between I was an atheist and my husband was a Roman Catholic. And which doesn't sound like much of a compromise really, but Episcopal Church is like Catholic light, a third less guilt. They're actually a pretty decent bunch of people as people go. When she came home one day, her freshman year of high school, and said, "Hey, guess what? I'm Wiccan." And I'm like, "What's that?" So she explained it, and I was like, "That? No, I mean, you're an Episcopalian." She's like, "I can be both." I'm like, "I don't think you can actually." "Sure, I can." So we had a little debate, and then I said, "Well, clear it with the priest, and we're good." So she calls the priest and tells the priest all this stuff, and the priest said, "No, this is not a thing." And they had a little debate that ended when Ariel said, "Well, you're entitled to your opinion," click, and hung up the phone. And the next week I called back and talked to the other priest and explained what happened. And she laughed. And I was like, "Why is this funny?" And she said, "Mother, all gods are God, and there's more than one right path to a relationship with the divine. Ariel's a traveler and she'll find her way." And I went, "Well, that's brilliant. Hey, Ariel, if you want to be a Wiccan Buddhist Episcopalian, I guess you can be." And she said, "Well, I was gonna." And she studied all religions looking for the thing that united them. And at the core of every spiritual path that she studied, and it was pretty much all of them, was love. That love was the thing that united all things. And so Ariel, she was open and accepting and loving. And, the people that she loves the most are the people who have open minds and open hearts. And, those are the people that walk in my door usually. They're people who embrace love, embrace tolerance, embrace a feeling of unity with nature and the universe and all the other people on the planet. Those are our people.
So what would you say to people who may feel like it's weird energy? I guess that's the word for it, weird energy.
I mean, sometimes people come in and they got some weird energy. Even people we like a lot, sometimes they come in, and every person is capable of having an off day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And usually we'll smudge us, Florida water and sage exist for a reason, and we use that liberally when we need to. And there are people who they prefer to be a little dark rain cloud, and bless their little hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And we wish them well and send them on their way. But we only have one commandment in our group, and that's don't be a jerk. And actually, I'm cleaning this up because that's not normally what we say, but I'm trying to keep this,
for the internet, for social media,
for people who might be offended by more colorful metaphors, which I am famous for. P.S. And by the way, this is taking some effort to find alternative words to
the clean version.
The clean version, yeah, the PG version, because normally mouth like a sailor, but heart of gold. So,
You definitely have a heart of gold. Now, the Dragon and the Rose is a valuable part of the community in Orange County. What are some of the things that you like to see or add or have at the Dragon and the Rose?
More than the things we've already got?
Yes.
We're always open to more classes and more experiential kinds of things because that draws people in. And it gives them, a sense of community and connection. And we're always, big proponents of education of all kinds and things that are enriching. We have a Reiki circle. We have lots of classes in all kinds of things, crystal gridding and pendulums and, spell casting.
What is crystal gridding?
Yeah, I haven't taken that class, so I'm not really sure. But
I've heard of crystals. I've heard of grids.
Okay,
so
they're using crystals to create patterns that then support various kinds of energy. I'm not the guy that teaches that. That's done by our friend Charlotte Holmes, and she's that's her thing. Like, you'll have a pile of rocks and you have an intention, and you arrange your stones in a way that supports the intention. And sometimes it's very, symmetrical or geometrical, and sometimes it's just random. It's like, well, this one wants to be next to this one, and that's one of the things I like about this is that there aren't rules. People come in and they say, well, I have to have this, or I can't do that, or somebody said that it has to be this way, and I'm like, dude, if you like rules, go be Catholic, because there aren't rules. The thing about being a pagan is you decide how you view the divine in the universe. You decide how you relate to the universe and to every living creature and thing in it. It's between you and you. It's not holy writ. It's not somebody come down and said, this is what you have to do. That's not what we do. We do what we feel. And the goal is to find harmony and balance and harm nobody, and that's the rule. Like, that's rule number 1, even harm none. No harm, harm none. Just peacefully exist and be authentic to yourself, and don't be a jerk, and mind your beeswax.
Do you feel that people add too many rules? I mean, especially in, I'll call it the metaphysical community. That's what I love to call it. And often people will say, you have to have this. You have to have this candle. This candle is a red candle, so you have to have a red candle. You have to be outside. You have to do it by the moonlight and on a new moon.
We don't subscribe to that theory. Because here's the thing. Well, my spell calls for a green candle. Well, I don't have green candles today. And I guarantee you that the candle has no idea what color it is. So if you have a blue candle or a white candle or a yellow candle, and you say, today your job is to be a green candle because that's what I need. I am manifesting money today, and I need you to help me in this process. Every tool that you use until you give it a job is what it is. Candles are illumination. Oils are lubrication.
I love that.
Herbs are a condiment. I mean, seriously, until you give it a job, it is what it is. Then you say, listen, thing, your job is to help me do this thing. And because you have dominion over all things, you tell it, this is your job.
I want to go back to that. I want to expand on that a little bit. You said you have dominion over all things. What does that mean? Where does that come from? Is that
there is one power in the universe, and you are a perfect manifestation of that power. That means you and your will are the strongest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you decide that the thing that will help you to achieve your goal, to manifest the thing that you desire, is a green candle and some money draw oil and a handful of, peppermint,
Mm-hmm.
great. But those things only work because you gave them the job. Okay? It's Dumbo's magic feather. Now, you can do the same stuff with absolutely nothing. If you don't have a candle, but you can imagine the candle, and the candle is an important part, you've decided. You sit and think about the candle burning while you have your petition and you're asking the universe for assistance in getting the things that you need. Then eventually, when you have enough confidence in your abilities and you know that you are a master manifester and you know that you have the ability to do the thing, you won't need anything. You will just say, universe, this is what I need. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, the things that are for your best and highest good will be the things that come to you. And it may take time, and it may take, a little effort on your part as well, because you can't just sit around and think that you're going to win the lottery. You got to buy a ticket. You got to get off your couch. You got to put yourself out into the world to help yourself with the things, but you're asking for a little extra something from the universe. Meet it halfway, like you should. And that's how things happen. And when you realize your own power, you'll need less and less to accomplish it. But until then, it's perfectly fine to have whatever tool you think you need. So, there's no wrong answer, except listening to somebody tell you have to and you can't. That's nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
It sounds like nonsense, but it also sounds like that it's against a business model, because it almost is saying you don't need a store, you don't need a person, you don't need herbs, you don't need candles, you don't need anything. You can just sit there and imagine you have all these things.
And someday you'll get to that point. But in the meantime, if you need a magical widget, come get it here. Because I'm always going to tell you the truth, and my job is to empower people. It's to connect them to their own, magicalness. That's not a word, but if it was, it would be
magicalness.
Right. So my job is to empower people. And whatever that looks like, whatever that means, however you decide you're going to interact with the world. A lot of people have been told from the beginning of their lives that they don't know things, that they have to follow a rule, that they can't think for themselves, that they can't, they have no power, no personal power. And that's nonsense. It's nonsense. Nonsense. Ridiculous nonsense.
Right.
Everybody's magical. They just maybe don't know it yet. Are you kidding?
I want to know, do I have the magic?
You more than most people. But
how do you know someone's magic? Where's the magic come from?
They brought it with them.
Into this universe?
Into this life,
world,
into this incarnation. Everybody's born magical. And along the way, people have it beaten out of them in their youth. And then they spend the rest of their life trying to find it again. And some people do and some people don't.
So is there I don't want to use the word trick, because that sounds so, sleight of hand. But is there a way to remember? Is there a way to get back to being magical if one has forgotten?
Meditation can help.
Okay.
Most everybody I know who's had a spiritual awakening, it has been preceded by something personally catastrophic.
Chaos.
Well, sometimes chaos, sometimes tremendous loss.
Okay.
In my instance, it was Arielle's death. I remember being a child and telling people that I was a witch. And people would go, "No, you're not." And I went, "Oh, I guess this isn't a safe thing to talk about. I guess, okay, well, we just won't talk about that anymore because this is going to get me locked up in the loony bin or something. Who knows?" So I never really thought about it again. Although when I was like 15, there was a boy that broke my heart, and I told him that was a bad idea because I was a witch and I was going to curse him, which I only said the words. I didn't do anything because I didn't even know what I could have done. And then he wrecked his car and lost his job and something else. I forget what it was. And then he was like, "Oh my God, she is a witch. Just stay away from her and don't make her mad." But that I thought was just kind of funny because that's a weak-minded person. You can't hex, jinx, or curse anybody without their consent. He totally consented. So that's fine. He did it to himself, and he should have because he was a jerk. Anyway, I digress. So I spent most of my life believing I was an atheist. I tried lots of different churches. I couldn't find a path that felt good to me, whatever. We got pregnant with Arielle. My husband, Rob, said, I want to have her baptized. And I went, why? Well, it's very important. I went, well, it's cheap insurance. What if I'm wrong? So,
That's such a funny way of looking at things.
Well, I mean, how else would you look at it? I wasn't going to fight with him over it. That's silly. So we went to the Roman Catholic Church, but because he was divorced and we weren't actually married yet, ooh, my goodness, scandalous. They told us we were all going to go to hell. And I went, okay, cool, thanks.
Together, collectively.
Right. So my aunt said, well, try the Episcopal Church. It's Catholic light, a third less guilt. And I went, all right. So I called them and I said, so this is the plan. We'd like to have this baby baptized. I think it's nonsense, but it's cheap insurance. What if I'm wrong? And they went, well, it's not about you. It's about the baby. And we'd be happy to baptize your baby. And I went, cool. Okay. So then we meet with the priest. We go over the order of service for a baptism. We're promising to raise this child in the knowledge and love of God. And I looked at him and I went, are we doing this? Like, are we really actually going to do this? Because I'm not going to do this if we're not really going to do this. This is stupid. And he's like, no, I really want to do it. And I went, okay. So, we had all the kids baptized. I went through confirmation classes, was confirmed in the Episcopal Church. We got married in a nuptial mass and the whole bit. And we went to church all the time and blah, blah, blah. And then 3 years in, he bailed because we got a new priest and he didn't like that priest. And I'm like, excuse me, what are you doing? Well, I'm not going, I don't like that guy. Okay. So I'm every Sunday with 3 children until there was 2 children and then there was just 1 child. Keeping a promise to a God I didn't believe in while my husband was home sleeping. Jerk. Anyway, so, when Arielle was the freshman, I told you she came out as a Wiccan. And I went, okay, well, she never stopped going to the Episcopal Church. She was an acolyte. She was a member of the youth group. She preached the Easter Sunday message one year. Like she was a true believer. She studied Judaism and she studied Islam and she studied, all kinds of things because she was very curious and very interested and very open to the connections between all the things. And then when she was killed by a drunk driver 12 days after her 20th birthday, I was cleaning her room out a month or 6 weeks later, and I came across all of her pagan stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down and read this because I want to know what the hell she was on about. I sat down. I opened up the first book. I read like halfway through the first page. I went, oh my God, I've been a pagan my whole life. I just didn't have the words for it. Like I didn't know. But there it was, and everything made sense to me. And I couldn't stop reading. I couldn't stop studying. And I read a bunch of things that just kind of like, oh, this all makes sense. This is very familiar now. Okay, I get it. And, through the course of the last 16 years, I've learned a ton. And my understanding of the spiritual path that I'm on makes sense now. And I didn't have words.
Wow, what an interesting story.
And I get a lot of other people who come in and say, I'm new to this journey and here's what happened. There's always a tragedy. There's always some kind of something that triggers, the rejection of the things that were presented to them earlier in their lives and the embracing the new thing, the new path, and the open exploration of where they fit in the universe.
Wow, so interesting. Hi, James Ellis. Thank you for joining us. Is James a friend of yours?
I don't know, James. Hi, James.
Hi, James. I don't know because people are tuning in. When people come to the Dragon and the Rose, do you feel that people are just coming to buy products? Or because whenever I come to the Dragon and the Rose, I just need a hug. Like I'm just like, let me just go give me a hug.
There are times when people come in for they know what they came for. They come and they get it. Okay. There are people who come in and they say, I'm really new. I need help. Okay, cool. So we'll go look at some ideas. We'll talk about what their needs are or whatever. There are people that come in here and they are so broken and they don't know what they need. They walk in here and they're scared or they're hurting or whatever, and I'll help them find some stuff. But then there comes a point in the transaction where I will look at them and I'll say, you look like you need a hug. Do you need a hug? Do you need a hug? And they'll say, oh yeah, I really do. And I'll come around the counter and we'll stand there and we'll have a hug. And I don't mean just a little, kind of thing. Like, we latch on and we're there for a while.
Oh, wow.
And then when they start to feel like, okay, they're okay, then we switch sides because we don't want to be lopsided. And we'll stand there for another however long, and we'll hug. And sometimes we'll cry together, and sometimes we'll just rock a little, and I will whisper things in their ears like everything's going to be okay, and shit like that. Because sometimes people need to hear that. Right. And I can't tell you how many times I've stood there and cried with people who are going through some stuff. And we have a little heart to heart, and they leave a lot happier, and they come back often. Hey, I'm here. Can I get another hug? Got any more of those hugs? Always. And if I happen to run out, they could give me one, and then I'd have one to give them back.
Absolutely. I come for that.
It's like self-fulfilling, it's like, I'm all out. Oh, here's one. Oh, thank you. So that's actually my favorite part of my job, is loving people whose hearts are broken and helping them get through the day, because sometimes life is freaking heavy, man. And we only get through it by supporting each other and loving each other. That's the purpose of a spiritual community, I feel, is to get you over the rough patches, because life be life.
It definitely does. But just to have someone such as yourself and to have the Dragon and the Rose here, I think is incredible. So you have something incredible coming up on April 12th.
April 12th, we're going to be having a psychic fair and vendor market. Okay. This is the beginning of our Sweet 16 celebration.
16 years.
16 years. I can't even believe it. If I'd known then
what I know now.
I had more dollars than cents at the moment. When I started this, I just really felt like I needed to do something. I had sold my restaurant and I was looking for something to do. And this opportunity presented itself, and I just dove in, head first. I had no idea what I was doing. Not a clue. People would come in and say, oh, do you have this? No, should I? Yeah, you should. Okay, if it exists in the natural world, I'll find it and I'll get some. And that's how we grew from, the rinky-dink little, collection of weirdness to, a pretty comprehensive stuff, and things that we don't have but can make, we make, and things that we don't make and, exist someplace else, we find it, we get it, we bring it in. This is, we aim to fill every hole, every niche. Here, what do you need? I can make that happen for you. And if I can't get it for you cheaper than you can get it for yourself, I'll tell you where to get it, even if it's not here, because the most important part is the support.
Right. The hugs.
The money follows. I'm providing a service to my community, and in return, my community supports me. So
yes, we are here to support you. So April 12th.
April 12th.
To April 12th.
From 11 to 5.
11 to 5.
In the courtyard and the parking lot, there will be a whole bunch of vendors, a whole bunch of readers and healers, and it will be a fun day. Hopefully the Dwali lady will join us, because she's amazing. And it's just going to be a great day. Then that evening, Cascateria will be here performing their Taxman Sucketh performance.
The Taxman
Sucketh. The vampires have something to say about those other bloodsuckers. And it's actually pretty lighthearted. It's poetry and song parodies and just silliness. And that's at 7:30. It's free to attend. If you throw a little something in the tip skull, it keeps gas in the hearse. And otherwise we provide, refreshments and treats. And it's another opportunity to get together as a community and, have a little fun. So if you're in the neighborhood, stop by and see the show. It's lots of fun.
Yes, and if you're not in the neighborhood, come on out, hop in your car, drive out here.
Everybody's mobile.
Yes, I want to say hello to Jasmine Alexander. Thank you for joining us. We definitely appreciate your support. Everyone, go ahead and share this because we are learning so much about not only the dragon and the rose, but some of the interesting aspects of what we have going on here. And that's where we are right here in Santa Ana at the Dragon and the Rose. And I want to talk again about April 12th because so often people don't know what to expect. So during these monthly events, people can come out, they can meet some of the readers, they can meet some of the vendors, they can find out more about the products. You will be offering more classes as well, correct?
Right. Our newsletter should be out any day now with the lineup for the classes for April and some things heading into May also. That also includes our reader schedule and all the events that we offer, the Reiki circles and all the classes, and when the guest readers are here and things like that. The vendors that are going to be participating are going to have a wide variety of things that some of their things we carry in the store, anyway, but they come and they bring, things that we don't necessarily have already. There's a lot of fun jewelry, oils and body products, ceramics. Some people have things they've sewn. They're very pretty altar cloths and tarot bags and things like that. There's so many different vendors with so many different products, and it's kind of fun because we don't have room to carry everything.
Mm-hmm.
So this gives them an opportunity to showcase their stuff. Sometimes we wind up with, a consignment agreement afterwards because like that stuff's so cool. I really want to have it.
Mm-hmm. What are some of your favorite items that are in the store right now? Let's talk about that.
Oh, okay. Right now, I've got some things that my friend Jessica, Art by JLo, she is a ceramic worker. She works with all kinds of mediums, but ceramics is her thing that she's doing the most right now. She's made some really pretty. They're not real big, but they're an elemental altar. It's a tiny little thing that's got a space for, everything to represent the different elements. There's a place to put an incense stick for air, and a place to put a candle for fire, and a place to put like salt or a crystal or whatever for earth, and a place to put water or something that represents water. And they're really pretty. She makes beautiful trinket boxes. She makes beautiful coffee mugs with pretty. She does a lot of things with like the Tree of Life motif. She's doing some Medusa stuff now. She's doing some Celtic things and some Egyptian things. Just all her stuff is so pretty. She's got little offering plates and little all kinds of stuff, little trinket things. It's so pretty. She does a beautiful job, and she's a lovely human. I really adore her. We have jewelry from Artemis Stone. She has been doing wire wrap jewelry for a long time. She's got beautiful things. She works a lot in copper and silver and semi-precious stones. Soups Crystals makes really cool like crowns and jewelry and little tiny bone displays. She collects like little like mouse bones and rat bones and coyote bones and stuff, and she creates these really interesting things in little glass domes. She makes combs and bookmarks and all kinds of fun stuff. She's very creative. Spell of a Rose, she makes intention lip balms.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, one day my chapstick was disappeared and we had some old testers.
Mm-hmm.
We used to put all the lip balms out, and people would come along, and instead of opening the one that's the tester,
Mm-hmm.
they'd open a brand new one and go, yeah, I don't want that. And I'm like, now I can't sell it, you idiots. So I had a whole pile of the old ones. We stopped putting them out now. They're behind the counter.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I needed a chapstick. My lips were chapped. And I was looking through the flavors, and one was called Show Me the Money. It's a money manifesting one.
Mm-hmm. Money manifesting.
I said,
I love it.
I think this will work. So I put it on,
Mm-hmm.
and about 20 minutes later, this girl comes in, and she said, hey, is somebody that worked for me before, is this person around today? And I said, no, they're not. Oh, well, I need their phone number. And I said, over my dead body. I'm not giving out her phone number. Are you crazy? Oh, I mean her no harm. And I said, that's nice, but I'm not giving her phone number.
Mhm.
And so she takes out $100 bill and she slides it across the counter like that's going to sway me. And I'm like, no, thank you.
Mhm.
I said, if you want to leave your number, I will give it to her and she can contact you if she's, wants to.
I still would have taken that one.
And we went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And finally she agreed. And so she writes a letter, actually it was longer than a note. It was a very long bit of business. And she folds it up and she puts $100 bill in there.
Mhm.
And then she takes a couple $100 bills and she slides them across the counter to me. And I said, I told you that's not necessary. And she said, no, this is for you because you're a good person. And I went, oh, wait a minute now. I just put that show me the money thing. Why am I telling her no to $100 bills? I'm like, thank you very much. And then I called Rose and I said, you'll never guess what just happened here. And she's like, holy cow. So then when I saw the person next, I gave her the note from the other person. I have no idea if they ever connected or whatever, but it was just like the single weirdest thing that
Right
happened
after
to me in
you
a
put
while.
on the Show Me the Money.
Yeah. So
Okay, do you have Show
good.
Me the Money?
Of course.
Okay, because I need that.
Always.
Always.
And she makes laundry boosters too. And Rose is fantastic. She's the one that teaches our spell class and our psychic development class, and she facilitates the Reiki circles on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month.
Mhm.
She's fantastic. I love Rose a whole bunch. She's fantastic. Other things that we have that are consignment-y.
That are interesting.
That are handmade, that are wonderful.
Yes. You have tarot decks.
Well, I have a bunch of tarot decks, but we don't hand make those.
No.
My goddaughter Amber makes little devotional bottles. They have herbs and crystals and intention things for various and sundry deities. And then the liquid in the bottle is moon water that we collected during a full moon when it was pouring. I think it was 2021 or 2022. The water, we've had it quite a while now. It was like 37 gallons of water that we collected because it was like a freaking monsoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you collect that much.
I had big tubs and then we had to put it in big jars and it took us a long time.
Sounds like work.
Yeah, it was totally. But we have a lot of the water and we're like, what are we going to do with this? I mean, we made some stuff with it, but she's like, I have an idea. And I'm like, okay. So she seals it all up in these little corked bottles and then she seals them with wax and then puts a little crystal on the top. And they're devotional things to put on an altar if you work with certain deities. There's like Hades and Persephone, and there's, Diana and Athena and Aphrodite and Gaia and Apollo. There's a whole bunch of different ones. Medusa's one that she just did recently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a handmade thing that we have. I've been making hand-rolled intention candles with beeswax and herbs and crystals and stuff, and that's been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying that.
You make them yourself?
I do.
Oh, wow. How long does it take?
As long as it takes.
How long does it take to make one?
From start to finish, about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
The biggest thing was deciding what colors represented what intentions, and then, deciding what herbs that would be appropriate, which oil would be appropriate. And I was buying pre-waxed wick, and then I ran out of the wick. And so I bought a couple of big reels of, 100 yards of unwaxed, and then I waxed it myself. That was a real pain in the keister.
I wouldn't know how to do any of that. I don't know how to wax or wax off.
Wax on, wax off. Yeah. I took a bunch of old candles that were like ones that had already been burned a little or whatever, and they weren't going to be used anymore. And I put them in an electric skillet, and I melted them all down, and I pulled out all the old wicks and whatever. And then I took this big ball of wick and just ran it through there. And as it came out, then I just wrapped it around a thing until it was all done. And that took a long time. Mm-hmm. And then I cut them to the 5.25 inch length they needed to be for these candles, because the candles are about 5 inches tall. And so that was time consuming. But making the candle itself, once all that other stuff was done, it's pretty fast.
And those are available in the store?
They are. But I
Wow.
think I've only got like one pair left right now. I really need to make more. I've been busy.
Yes.
I've been fooling around actually.
We've been busy.
I've been busy.
Wonderful.
I've been busy fooling around.
We're going to talk about that because one of the things that we have at the Dragon and the Rose is readers. So you have readers who not only here on the April 12th, but who are here on a daily basis.
Every day we have at least one reader. Sometimes we have two. Somebody does a morning and somebody does an afternoon. Wednesday is always one just person, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays is just two people. Fridays one person, Saturdays one person, Sundays one person. But Tuesday, because we have Tuesday morning person who she's here Tuesday mornings, she's here till 2:30 and then she's gone.
Mhm.
So we have the Tuesday and Thursday afternoon is the same person.
Mhm.
And then we're adding a Thursday morning because somebody is available
Yes.
to come and help us.
I
And she'll
love
also
reading.
be filling in on Tuesday mornings when our normal person is gone. She travels quite a bit. So when she lets us know she's going to be gone, we have somebody now that can fill in the space, which is great because it's sad when people call, oh, do you have a reader today? I wish.
Mhm.
There's people sometimes just out of the blue will decide they need a reading.
Mhm.
And if we have somebody that can do it, then that's great. And if we don't, then we feel like we've let our community down. So
No, we can't
I
let
like
the community
I like to
down.
have options for people. So
Yes.
and everybody does a different bunch of stuff. Like some people are just oracle, some people are tarot, some
Mhm.
people read bones, some people read runes, some people read energy and use charms. Yeah, palm reading is another one. Tea leaf reading. We have lots of different modalities.
Mhm.
And people do different things. Some of them offer limpias, which is a spiritual cleansing. Sometimes it uses an egg, sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm.
They're just all kinds of different ways to get to the same place, which
Mhm.
is clarity and energetic cleansing and insight into what's going on in their lives.
Wow, I love it. And so I'm going to be reading at the Dragon and the Rose. It's something that I love to do, something I haven't done professionally in a long time, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited and grateful for the opportunity to be able to read at the Dragon and the Rose on Thursday morning. I will be here. Not sure what I'm going to be doing on April 12th, but I will be here. But I'm also going to be doing a tarot reading class. I think that's what I'm really excited about. It's going to be Saturday morning starting April 19th, and it is the beginner's class for learning how to read tarot. So if you've never read professionally, this is definitely a class for you. And if you've been reading for some time and you need a refresher course, or sometimes people, just want to get in a class and learn, but I'll also teach that class. And so one of the things that I wanted to do is really demystify some of the aspects of reading. Sometimes people are like, what is going on? How are you doing that? How do you know that? And I'm like, I just pray, first of all, and ask for messages for the people that I love, like Karen. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little reading for Karen, small couple of cards, just to give people an idea of some of the readings that we can offer. And we have Karen, who's going to be our querents, as we like to call them. Somebody who has a question. You have a question?
Always. But I don't know which direction to go.
Okay. Well, since you don't know what direction to go, we'll just
say what the universe wants me to know today, because that's generally safer anyway. Because I always think I know what I want, and then I don't necessarily.
Yeah, so we go ask for signs, clear symbols, and for God to speak to us in ways and words that we can understand. And sometimes a sign that means something to you doesn't mean anything to me. Yep. So I want you to receive whatever sign you need in order for you to get the answers. But I'm going to tell you right now, whenever I do readings, the cards are just a confirmation, because one of the things that I see for you is love and abundance.
An abundance of love is good too. I'll take that.
Abundance of love.
There is a particular person that I'm extraordinarily fond of presently, and we've been spending some time together.
Okay.
He shall remain nameless because,
We don't give out
discretion
names.
is important.
We're streaming live. We
But
can't give names.
yeah. But there is somebody who's very dear to my heart, and things are going very well. We've been seeing each other for a while now, and I feel like, we're doing good, and we're just moving right in the right direction. And
Okay.
if this wound up being my next great love, that would be lovely. My husband of 37 years passed away October of 2023, and he had been sick for a long time. And by the time he went, he was ready to go, and I was ready to let him. But for the first time in my life, like my life is my own, and what am I going to do with myself? And like, I'm not replacing him with anything human, I said. And then, and then this happened, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I will. Maybe I will.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what the cards say.
We'll see what the cards say. So James Ellis says, can I please have a message? So you know what, James, we hear you. Thank you for hanging in there with us. We're going to give you a message. But first,
do him first if you want to. He's got
James,
things to go and do.
James
is a busy guy. Give James a card.
We're going to give James a card.
Give James a card.
Okay, James, are you still with me?
Pay attention, James.
We seeing where James is. Because we're going to give you a card right now, James.
Eeny, meeny, chilly, meeny, the spirits are about to speak. Are they friendly
James
spirits?
James said he's with us. So James, since you're not here, I'm going to cut for you. So I'm going to cut this card for James Ellis. We're going to give him a message. Whatever James needs to hear. Switch our energy over this direction. Something tells me James is dealing more with career. Let's see what comes out.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I'm feeling career. I don't think love's the issue for James. I've seen James. Let's take another look at James. Yeah, James doesn't have problems with the love life for the ladies.
Probably not.
So let's see what James' situation is. We're gonna get a lot of pentacles. We only gonna pull a few cards for James. But I'm gonna tell you right now, James has money coming in. I don't know why I'm feeling abundance. Maybe that was James' abundance that I was feeling, or maybe everybody's feeling abundance.
Maybe everybody deserves abundance and love and all the things.
Okay, James.
All right.
We're gonna see.
You need to shuffle all the spots off them cards.
That's what I do, because I got to make sure this is specifically for James. I don't want to read James and his Jasmine message, so I had to keep shuffling to make sure. James, you ready for me? The world, James. The world. This is what I got for you. And so whenever I see the world, James, what that means to me is that whatever cycle in your life you are going through, that cycle is over, is complete. You are about to start a new cycle in your life. So that tells me that you're going through transitions, you're going through changes. James says he is. See, I'm telling you, he is going through it. But whatever you've been going through, that's over. Get ready for a huge shift, a major shift, because that part of your life and that lesson is over. Because then we got the star card, James. So that last part of your life ended, that section. Now make a wish. What do you want now, James? Where do you want to go now, James? What do you want to manifest in your life? Because I'm sure whatever you need help with manifestation, we can find it for you at the Dragon and the Rose. So
this is very significant that your first two cards were major arcana cards. These are very important.
Yes. Major, because those are major shifts. Mm-hmm. And that's what I always tell people is that when you get, like you said, Karen, a lot of major arcana cards, those are major shifts in your life, things that will change the course of history, births, deaths, divorces, marriages,
abstract concepts.
Yes. Yeah. But make a wish. Be clear. Wish upon a star, James, because we gonna see at the end of the day, Ace of Wands. You got the Ace of Wands, and I love the aces because the aces have the full potential to be anything. They haven't gone in a specific direction. They're not tangible. So it can be anything that you desire. So with the Ace of Wands and the Star, I would definitely say for you to be clear. Be very clear on what you want. You finished the last chapter of your life. So what do you want in the next chapter? I would definitely say don't dream small. Don't dream small. What do you say, Karen?
Go for the big brass ring, buddy.
Yes. How was that, James? Did that resonate with you? I feel like your career is going to take off, but you just got to be clear on what you want. Step out there, take a leap of faith and make it happen. So James is over there. We'll see if that resonated with James. We gave him a message, but I would dream big. I would plan, dream. How was that, Wren?
That sounded like a great idea. I'm excited for James. I hope James does all the things.
James' career is about to take off. Right. You're going to see James somewhere and he's going to be like, did that resonate with you, James? He said, thank you. I appreciate your message. I want to see, you got to come visit us at the Dragon and the Rose, because I got to see what happened. I always like to know the story.
Yeah.
I got to know like what happened.
How did it end?
Yes. Yeah. Or how did you get here? Because if you just had this whole transition and something happened, there was a story, there was a move, there was a job change, something happened. Yeah. Something happened.
You ever listen to Paul Harvey?
No, I listen to Steve Hardie.
No. Paul Harvey used to do a radio show, and he would tell, a story. You didn't know who it was about, and you get to the end of the thing. Oh, that person was so and so, and now you know the rest of the story. Okay. It was an old radio show thing.
I'm gonna have to bring it back.
Yeah,
because I need to know the rest of the story.
I would love to know the rest of the story. It's like, what happened next?
Okay,
how did this resolve?
Yes.
Yeah,
because I got to find out what happened to James.
This is better than watching a soap opera.
Come into the Dragon and the Rose. I will be doing readings Thursday mornings. And I'll be teaching the class, learn how to read tarot at the Dragon and the Rose Saturdays at 9 a.m. And James says, I'm in the UK.
Oh, well, that's okay. You could come here.
Good night, James. When you get here from the UK, we got to know. You got to fill us in because we got to know what happened. What had happened was. Yes.
If I can get to Wales, you can get here.
Okay. Well, we're going to be doing some traveling. Yeah. So like I said, whoever is watching this in the archives, come to the Dragon and the Rose in Santa Ana. We are here all day, just about every day, except for Mondays.
We're closed on Mondays. Always have been, always will be. Although I do come by to feed the cats. And if you catch me here, you can always come in. But I'm usually in and out pretty quick because I got a life outside of the business.
Absolutely. And we got to see what's going on in Wren's life. So let's go ahead and cut those and see. We're going to get a message for you. See what's happening. Okay, that was one. Because we got to make sure we clear James' energy.
Yeah.
Because if we get the world, the star, and the we're gonna put that right on back in. I like that one.
But that was a magician. Yeah.
Okay, but we got to see if she's comes
definitely
back.
Mine.
We got to see. Okay, because we shifted it, we cleared it, we know this is about you.
When I used to cut the cards like that, when my father and I war playing cards, he would call that a four-house shuffle, which is not very nice, but that's what he called it.
Well, let's see. We're going to do one more of those and see how it works out. And then we're going to give a message to Wren and see the magician, the star, the world, the ace shows up for Wren.
The Hanged Man. Ooh.
We got the Hangman, you guys. We got the Hangman. What does the Hangman tell us? The Hangman is a major arcana card, a major shift in Wren's life. And so what does this tell us? It tells us to hang out, and chill out,
and look at things from a different perspective. Yeah.
Yes.
My world is upside down, but it's okay. See things a little differently.
But you're not worried. You're
No.
not struggling.
No.
You are so relaxed. You're ready for this change. You're just
Yeah.
waiting for everything
Yeah.
to just.
He doesn't look upset at all. He's kind of hanging there by like a silk ribbon or
He's a
something.
ballerina.
Well, it's pretty fine.
All over.
Yeah, no. Doesn't look like the gentleman I'm seeing, but it's all good.
But hang out. Wait a minute. Relax. You know what I mean? We'll see. 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands. One of my favorite. It is a minor arcana, but it is one of my favorite because the 8 of Wands for me symbolizes new opportunities. So if you just hang out and wait, and the 8 of Wands is one of the few cards, if not the only ones, that there's nothing that you have to do. These new opportunities are already on their way to you. The wands are in the air. They've been shot. All you have to do is receive. So again, the message just with these 2 cards is just relax, relate, release. Isn't it the Cosby Show or something?
I don't know. But I am actually, I am an archer. I do archery. So
You do?
yeah, anything, this symbolism here like speaks to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just shoot my arrows. Whee.
They shooting the arrows to you.
Well,
that's not you. Because then you got to do some work. We don't want you to do any work.
Oh, but
we want the people to shoot them to you, and then you just receive all the blessings.
Oh, right. So they hit me with a bunch of arrows.
A bunch of blessings.
You about to get
hit with a bunch of blessings. I told you the abundance is on the way.
You know, are these even on? These are okay. They're not pointy on the ends, and they're not. Fire. And they're not.
They're fire.
That's not fire.
Isn't that fire?
No, it doesn't look like fire.
I like fire.
Well, I wouldn't want pointy things or things on fire coming at me.
By sorry. By the time it gets to you, it'll be burnt out. But it's a shooting star. It's a shooting star.
Okay, if those represent opportunities, yes. I'll take it.
8, right. Not just 2, 3, 8. So that means that if one opportunity,
I'm going to be attacked by an octopus.
Yes. Yes, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love every moment of being attacked by this. That's why I love readings. They're so beautiful. I can't wait for all of you guys to come to the Dragon and the Rose and be attacked by opportunities. There you go. 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords, right?
Okay. So tell me, what does that mean?
That means that I was right.
About what?
And somehow, somewhere, I was going to make it that I was right. So I don't know if you, I don't know if you realize that somehow, some way is going to be right.
So explain to me the 6 of Swords.
Okay.
Okay.
So every card, and this is what we're going to learn in my class, because if you don't have a meaning for every card, are you even a reader?
I mean, I look at the codex every time. I've been reading for a couple of decades. I still look at the codex every single time. It's a starting point. I go beyond it, but it gives me a starting point, some place to jump off from. Because if I look at this and I'm just go, they're going in a boat. Look at that. Isn't that fun? But I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yes, but
see, this is thought and this is action to me. This is Wands is thought, Swords is action.
Oh, no.
No.
Swords are thought, Wands are action.
Oh, well, see.
Opposite.
See, well.
Right. So
I'm glad we're having this conversation.
Alive.
Yeah.
Right. So wands are action. That's why, again, the wands symbolizes your career.
Okay.
So even in the abundance that we discussed. So it's saying, really there's nothing that both cards, especially these, say the same thing. There's nothing you have to do. And like I always tell people, I love reading because I'm a lazy believer. People don't like that, but I am, because I'd be like, gotta figure it out, gotta work it out, gotta handle it, gotta take care of it. So I love those situations where there's nothing I have to do, because I am anti-labor. Like, I believe in non-working, right? So these basically say there's nothing you have to do. But the 6 of Swords is called passage. It's a passage card, which means that you are going from one point to another. And so the beauty of the 6 of Swords is that the shore is in sight. People pull this card when they are battle weary, when they are tired, but it's a 6.
Boy, does that sound like me.
Yes.
Battle weary and tired.
That's the 6 of Swords.
Okay.
But
it looks like the sky's clearing.
Exactly.
We're heading towards a clearer
but don't
sky.
you see that right there?
And the shore too.
That's the
sure.
shore.
But also the sky is clearing.
Yes.
We're leaving all this dark stuff and we're heading towards this
New hope, right?
Maybe a little ease. Oh,
yes.
nice.
But the challenge, because I'm trying and working on not using the word problem, the challenge is that even though the shore is in sight, they're not there yet. Right? So again, I always see patterns, and that's what reading is about, is what is the patterns? What do you see? So the patterns I see in these cards with the wands is that the wands aren't there yet. The Six of Swords, you aren't there yet. But you, in both of them, the opportunities are on their way. You can see the shore. So there is hope in the future. You're just not there yet. And because you could have been on the water for years, back in the day before, they were zipping around, they could have been on there for 8 months, right? And so when we first started Journey, we're excited. We're like, yeah, I want to start this journey. But by the time we've been on the water for about good 6-7 months, we're like, when am I going home?
Yeah, I've got scurvy now because
Yes.
Yeah.
You've been out there for a long time.
Okay.
That's
is there a card we could draw that would give us some kind of a better idea when we might find completion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This one we're going to need you to, I think.
Eeny, meeny, chili, beanie.
Yes.
This one.
The Emperor.
The Emperor.
So.
That doesn't tell us when.
The Emperor will tell you when.
Okay.
I mean, depends on how you look at it and depending on how you read it, right? Because it's a major arcana card and it's a 4. So some people can read that, but to me, time is not. So there is no time. Time doesn't exist.
Linear time is a human construct. All time is now.
Right, but we use the Emperor as a clarifying card, and so the Emperor is also representative of the Aries. It's an Aries card. And so Aries is about, the Emperor is about control. It's about structure. It's about kind of taking things in your own hand. So the Emperor is a ruler, right? But I want to go back to the Six of Swords and passage and when are these things are going to end. You have 6 swords, 6 opportunities. Here you have 8 wands that are on their way to you. So to me, I feel like whatever you've been going through, whatever you've been dealing with is a situation that you're moving out of. When is up to you. You and God.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Because time is fluid. It could be now.
Okay.
It could be tomorrow.
Okay.
It could be 9 years from now.
I'll be dead by then.
You're not dying anytime soon. But the most important thing is that the opportunities are on their way. Hang out, chill out, relax, and you'll be at the shore because there's water, there's life. Look at that green and blue and in the sky, and the birds are chirping,
aren't they?
And you've been asleep for a long time, so now it's time for you to wake up.
Those look like seagulls. They don't chirp.
Don't ruin a good story with facts. Don't ruin a good story with facts.
Okay. Oh, he's got himself a hawk or something there.
Yes.
He's kind of a hunk.
He is.
Okay. So is this the complete story, or is there any more in there that we need to know about?
Would you like to know some more?
One more.
Okay.
One more. Just,
okay.
Odd numbers. We have to have odd numbers. I can't do an even number.
We have to have odd numbers. Okay.
I want an outcome card.
Okay. Final outcome. Final outcome. At the end of the day.
At the end of the end of this situation here, we have to lay them down. Just spread them out.
I had to do it. This is the rules that we discussed not having.
Just right. Well, I mean, it's not really a rule. Okay, here, hang on.
It's just like, let me do it. Let me do it.
Hang on.
You got to get a professional.
I gotta get it.
That's how you do it. That's how I'm
doing it.
That's how you do it. Okay.
That's how you do it. Meeny, miny, mo. This one. Page of Swords. Okay.
But that's a great one.
Is it?
Great. Okay. They're all great. That's why
explain it to me.
Okay. So we're going to learn this in the class on April 19th, right? Because so many people miss this important part of the pages and of the court cards. So a lot of tarot is about the kings and the courts and those type of things.
Mhm.
So prior to cell phones, the kings had pages.
Mhm.
So the page literally slept at the bed of the king,
Mhm.
because the king is not going anywhere because he's the king, right?
Right.
So if the king needed food or the king needed to do something else, he sent the page. So anytime you see pages, pages are messengers. They bring messages, they
Okay.
bring information, they bring news. So the sword is about thoughts,
Mhm.
ideas, and
Mhm.
again, information. So if you have page of swords, and then you read it as the final outcome for what's going on, because what we told you was to hang out. There are new opportunities on the way. This is ending. You'll be done with this soon. You'll have structure in your life, control. You're the emperor. But anytime I see the page of swords, is there's information that has yet to be revealed. There's a message, some news. It could be anything. It could be an email, it could be a text, it could be a phone call, but there's some information that comes to you that brings light to this situation.
Okay.
Right. So I can see abundance here. Here's really my abundance. But what I see more than anything else is that you are going through a transition,
Mhm.
that you are whatever life. This is almost like James. I think I was holding on to James reading. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's
But you're in
possible
a
James and I could
transition.
both be doing the same thing at the same time.
Right.
Differently.
But your transition is a lot different than his transition. His is he's at the end of the world. You are still in your situation. It's not over. It's not completely over, but you're coming out of it. You're coming out of your situation in order
Maybe
to
I'm in the
move
home
forward.
stretch. That would be nice.
Well, you are, but you also have a 6, which means that it's 6 out of 10. So you are in the home stretch because you're past the 5. Your 5 are your challenges. Your 5s are really your conflict. So the worst is behind you. So just because the worst is behind you, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to start skipping through the streets. You still have to go into this new phase of your life, and that's really what you're preparing to. But you need more information. You need some information that's going to help make that life or that transition a little bit easier for you. And it could be a phone call. It could be somebody saying, hey, let's go do this. And then all of a sudden you'll see a shift, and you'll be able to go into a different direction.
All the little dominoes start to.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
So that's how we read it. We do readings. Again, I'll be here reading at the Dragon and the Rose in Santa Ana, California, Thursday morning, starting tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And on Saturdays, 9 a.m., we're going to do the Stop Sign Tarot reading course. So if you want to learn how to read tarot, want more information on how we do what we do, check us out at the Dragon and the Rose. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to contact us. Until next time, everyone, I want to give Wren, is there anything you'd like to share with the people? Let's give them some closing.
I don't know. What a.
It's just out the blue. It just came to me.
Geez,
It's just out the blue.
Just throws
Through-
me off
through-
the damn cliff
I
here.
think you might want to say goodbye or
Goodbye.
well, goodbye from the Dragon and the Rose in Santa Ana. Come visit us. We love to learn who's been watching this. If it was just James or in Jasmine.
James and Jasmine. I mean, who else
The
can we meet,
James.
really?
No, I love it. I love it.
Even if it's just James and Jasmine, we're delighted to have you. You're enough.
You are more than enough. But if you're watching it in the archives, we still want to hear from you, and come down to the Dragon and the Rose and say hi to us.
Come see
Have
us.
a good night.
We have coffee.
That's
and cookies and things. And cats.
And cats.
And cats.
God bless you and good night.